have to listen to it, and it's gonna be real boring. It's me configuring my strategy here. But to anyone who is interested, I guess. This is how the sausage is made. Or at least how the factory is assembled. I've sent 10,000 gold to my alt. And we're just gonna see how quickly it grows. That is for the purpose of testing my strategy. I will continue farming on my main and doing auctioning on the main as well. But to be sure that we're making money, I will have the little test character that will receive no new money. So if the test character loses money, then we know. We know that we're losing money. So my in-game trading strategy will purchase items that are, let's say, 20% down from the 60-day average, and it will try to sell at 25% higher than the price I purchased it at, which is basically 100% of the 60-day average. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm making sure that every item that I'm running this rule on will have a stable price. That mostly means that they are so this one does not work because this one is a new item, so it will go down in price over time. So I am essentially looking for items from at least 1 year ago. You see, here the price is high and the price goes down, but then it's kind of stable after that point, right? So this is an okay item.
Ho members will be upgraded to Shaban Ho Live, where you can still see Shaban Ho Live, participate in the stream, have your questions answered, and choose the next topic.
It's up to you what you want, but either way, it's the best time to get on board, and it's definitely what you want, I assure.
This is definitely what you want, I assure.
Shaban Ho, 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 holiday sale. That's the last time you're going to see that ad because it's about to finish.
Yep.
And if you want to you're going to want to head over to patreon.com/.
I don't know if I want to run this
one.
one.
It's half price right now.
Yep.
So this is the last, probably the last chance you're going to get. Number 2, you can give it as a gift. So it's the holiday season. You can give this as a gift to your family members or someone you love. You can get them a subscription. It's every Monday. We have a live episode. The Shaban Ho tier, the $10 tier, will get it right after it goes live.
Yep.
The $20 tier will get it as it's live.
Yes.
You can watch
Down,
it
it went up.
But this
went
is
down a lot,
your last chance to
and
get
it goes up a lot.
that price. So make sure you do it.
We'd love to see you there. We're having so much fun on Mondays.
We are. Beyond the Great
Okay.
Firewall is where I take you into the Chinese internet. And I
Yes.
translate things that you probably wouldn't understand.
So what did you translate for us this week?
So this time you actually found something really interesting for me to get my little translation fingers
Sure.
on. And it was a woman. And this answers so many questions.
Yes.
A lot of people are like, I keep hearing about these ghost houses. There's like hundreds of millions of extra houses,
Ghost towns.
of apartments in China. They're these concrete blocks that don't get finished, right? And people always say, why don't they just move all the homeless into those things, right? And we explain, well, there's no water hookup.
Yeah.
They're not finished, right?
Yes, it's an
There's
empty
no
shell.
bathroom, right?
There's no wall on the outside.
There's no wall on the outside. So there's these hundreds of millions of these concrete husks around the country where people have paid for them, but they can't live in them, right?
Yeah.
And this woman, in fact, paid for her house. Took 2 years, right?
Well, it's 2 years late on
I'm
delivery.
saying 2 years late on delivery. It took 2 years for them to deliver anything, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So she goes, you know what? I'm going to live in here anyway.
Yeah.
Guess what? To answer your question, why the homeless people or these people that bought their houses don't just go live in them anyway, this is what happens.
Yeah, we're going to show you, but I just wanted to clarify one thing. This is what's called a rotten tail project.
Yeah.
And what happens is, if you invest, and it's a huge amount of money, you go put your deposit down, just like buying a house anywhere else. Huge deposit down, and then you start paying your mortgage immediately. So you start paying a mortgage on this thing, and they say, okay, and it'll be delivered by this date next year, or whatever, right? So the due date came. And 2 years have passed since the due date, and she's still paying her mortgage for this thing that's not finished yet. So now we can actually go into the video and see what happened. Beyond the Great Firewall.
我是干什么不花钱？我钱都给他了，30万都给他了。我现在手里边没有钱，没有钱租房子。我给你看微信都行。我现在我都是信用卡，都套好几万了都。你让我怎么还？这边是房贷，那边是信用卡。 那边是房租，
那不是你生活的事儿，你自己的选择。
那是因为他们我才变成这样的。
I think we also have to explain that she set up a tent
Yes.
in her apartment.
So yeah, so now you've understood there's police at her door
Yes.
in this concrete husk of an apartment building where no one can live.
Yeah, and it's 2 years late on delivery.
Yeah.
And it's the construction is stalled.
It's never gonna
so
finish.
it's not going to finish.
No.
And it's just left like that. So she's taken a tent, moved into her apartment that she's paid for, and set up a tent in this concrete husk.
Yeah, so she's gonna live in it anyway. She's like,
Yeah.
if I'm not gonna get my house, I'm at least gonna live in the husk.
Yeah, so let's continue.
再说我现在入住我自己的房子是不是可以啊？是他不给我开门，我才强住的。
这个地方没交工的不够。
没，2年前就应该交工了，怎么就不具备？那现在，我现在是不是住的挺好的？怎么就不具备居住条件了？
啊，你吃在哪儿吃啊？你用电在哪儿呢？水在哪儿呢？
我还得告诉你我上厕所怎么上啊？
我就说这地方不适合居住，知道不？
我觉得它适合，它是我现在最适合居住的地方，我还不用花钱，我就可以住的地方。
So
Yes.
that's, I think, a huge insight into this whole hundreds of millions of unfinished apartments across China, these ghost apartments. You can't even live in the shell if you want to.
Yeah, see, she forced her way in, as you can hear from the dialogue. So she obviously got the, I don't know, groundskeeper or something that was there to
He opened the door for her, yeah.
So then she ran in and set up a tent, and she's
Yeah.
like, I'm just going to live here now. And so they called the police to get her out of her own apartment that she
she
paid
owns.
for, that should have been completed 2 years prior. That's the situation that's going on in China. It's a mess.
That's why there's all these huge uprisings and there's people refuse to work and they're setting factories and buildings on fire all over the country, the whole ruination thing.
Yeah.
It's because people are losing everything. Imagine you put all your money into an investment property or your own house to live in, your first home.
Yeah.
And you can't even live in it.
No, you can't move in. And you have to be paying rent and a mortgage at the same time.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the mortgages in China are far, far more expensive than the rent.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
It's the weird thing. It's like many of the apartments that I used to rent, it was fairly reasonable to rent.
Yeah.
I'd be paying like whatever, let's just say anywhere between the lowest rent I ever paid was 1,800 RMB a month, and then the highest was about six to 7,000 a month. But even on the cheapest apartment I was renting, the mortgage was closer to like 15 to 20,000, which is like what, 4 times or whatever that I was paying in rent or more. So it's kind of weird. So imagine you paying a huge amount of money for your mortgage and you're also paying rent at the same time.
Yeah.
Just not fair.
True.
Okay, now we've got a special for you. Okay, we wanted to talk about water for a second here. I just want to pause it.
Oh, the illegal water filling facilities?
Yes. So before we get into this, because this is actually an interesting new song that's just dropped out of China.
Nice.
That came along with this video for some reason. But you know, in China, you can't drink the tap water.
Yeah.
Like anywhere. Can we just make that very clear here?
Yes.
You've got a country. How big is it compared to America?
The same size.
Same size as America. 1.4 billion people. Not one of those 1.4 billion people in any of those square kilometerage of the entire place can drink water out of the faucet.
Correct.
You can't.
Can't.
So it doesn't matter if you go all the way north, like far north.
It's not opinion either. It's not like, oh, that's my choice. You can't.
No, you can't. You will poison yourself. You'll get sick. So you go to the north, you go to the south, you go to the east, you go to the west, you go in the middle. Doesn't matter where you go, you cannot drink the water.
Cannot.
And I love the fact that every time I point out that you cannot drink the tap water in China, someone says Flint, Michigan.
Yeah. Yes.
Someone right now was thinking that, weren't
Yes,
they?
they were.
They were like, oh yeah, Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
Screw you, Flint, Michigan. It's been fixed. And it's one city that you know about. How do you know about it? Because it was very widely publicized. How are you going to compare one town or one city in the whole of America, only one, with a very well-documented case, to an entire country where 1.4 billion people cannot drink the tap water? So stop. America's not the best at being
Take
the
all
worst.
the time you need.
Yes.
Okay?
Stop
I know
your
you always
ABP.
want to be like the best at being the worst, but you can't.
Shout out to the ABP.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where is that?
America
It's,
Bad
yeah.
Party. What about us that we trust?
Yes. Okay, now let's get back to this. Because nobody can drink the water, you have to buy
Jugs.
of water, and you have like what looks like an office cooler in your house. Everybody has it. Even if you don't have a full-on office cooler, you just put that jug down. You have a
Yes.
little pump, like a hand
Yes.
pump that you connect to it. Some of them are electric. But you have to get your water refilled, whatever, once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on your house, right, and how much you use. But the problem is that you get a lot of these clandestine operations that just fill it up with who knows what.
Oh, they fill it up with tap water.
Yes, sometimes
that you
they
can't
do.
drink.
Or weird well water, or
Yes.
even fire hydrant water I've seen with my own eyes. But like, for instance, this is not a controlled facility. They've got filters in the background I can see, right? But it's not a controlled facility.
No.
It's not correct. And she's sealing them because they're supposed to be sealed, like
Yeah.
professionally sealed. So, you know, it gets filled up at a factory and then it gets sealed so that you know that it's not tampered with or whatever. But look, she's just got the seals in a dirty bucket over there and she just knocks them on, as you'll see. But that's not what's important about this clip. I downloaded this clip and it had a random background music to it. And I think we better bring in an expert to introduce the music to us.
Okay.
And this expert's going to tell us if it's good or not.
Is it perchance salty waters?
It could be. Let's find out. Get us out of here. Let's take a look.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it?
I will see you again.
Salty.
I have all the time in the aisles.
Wow, Salty approved it?
Oh, yeah. I think
Great
that's
tune,
a
great
Salte
tune.
approved song. So it's called Poison Waters. Artist is Stony Rainstorm.
If you are new here, because
This is
we have
what I
quite a
need.
large audience right now. If you're new here, this guy, unfortunately, he didn't shill for the Chinese government, but he did this one video for Chinese state media where he had to like pretend to be interested in this cultural music,
Yeah.
and he does this thing where he goes, "What a wonderful song!"
I could actually
you
play
have
it.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it?
So anytime there's music related, we have him involved.
Yeah, so this is Salty Waters approved.
From the moment-
New soundtrack. Going to be on an album dropping soon, I'm sure.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, now we got to get on to... Sorry.
Oh, here's the real main event.
Yeah, okay, all the clowning around is out of the way. We have to get serious here for a minute, guys. Soft Power Hour is where China tries to change your mind through various propaganda and through censorship and so on. We're going to start this week in Liaoyuan in Jilin.
This is
okay?
where in this segment is where you'll see the drone site.
Yeah, the drone attacks are going to be in the segment. This was yesterday, December 12th.
Okay.
Okay?
Let's have a look. This is the stuff China's trying to hide.
Now, take a look what's going on here. Normal everyday street scene, and then all of a sudden, bam.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Okay? This was a gas explosion at a restaurant.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And you'll see the aftermath here. Now, the terrifying thing is, there's no indication of casualties.
We don't know.
Yeah,
You
it's-
wouldn't know. China won't
Yeah,
report
exactly.
that. Yeah. I'm trying to
But
find
there was a dance studio just above that was having a class. You can see that they're chilling out up there. People are throwing wet towels, I believe, to them.
Oh.
I was wondering what was going on, if it was being played in reverse or something.
That
No.
looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're throwing up wet towels for the people that are there. But yeah, you can see the people above the restaurant. I'm hoping that nobody was in the restaurant. Because if they were, they're vaporized.
They're done.
Yeah,
Gone.
I just really hope they were not.
Yeah.
Anyway, here come the emergency services. They're figuring out their equipment. Here it is from the other side. This is a little bit later, where the emergency services have set up their ladders. You see the firemen are finally evacuating the people from the dance studio.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can see that they are actually evacuating
The
the
safety
people.
standards in China are outlandish. And I'm surprised we survived.
Me too. Me too.
You know?
Yeah.
the way gas is stored and fireworks and the electric wires that are hanging all over the place. The fact that fire hydrants, by the way, did an expose at one point.
Yeah.
If you guys are new here, we did an expose. A lot of the fire hydrants in China are fake.
Yeah,
They're not hooked up to anything.
You know those things on the road, those red things that you hit? Yeah, you know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of them are fake. But there you can see the. Sorry, it's a bit loud. You can see the firemen are actually rescuing the people that were in the dance studio, which is a good positive.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad to see that because it's not always the case.
Wow, what a nuts explosion. That's just those gas explosions happen so
Strange
often.
looting.
Very, very often. Everybody in China cooks with gas.
Yeah. Now
There's-
you're cooking with
yeah, exactly. You know, everyone does. Anyway, let's move to Chengdu in Sichuan.
Okay.
Okay. Very far away, by the way.
Chengdu is very far away.
Very far away. Like it's like going from East Coast to West Coast
Yeah.
type thing. When we're showing you all these different things, they're not in one area in China. It's across the whole thing.
Lines
They're busy
picked up,
dismantling this
don't
water tower
care.
here.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
UFO-ish. Towns gathered to watch. This is the city. Whoa! The crane cranes there.
Yeah, two cranes.
Two cranes.
Listen to what he has to say.
真係，我哋馬要踩下，跨下，走啦走啦走啦走啦，
Maybe get some dust in his mouth.
Sure. Okay, now
Tinker
we're moving
socket.
to Shenzhen, which is the city I lived in for 14 years. You can see some of my starred places actually on the map there because I took it from my Google Maps, and there's a couple of them. Now, this happened in an incredibly fancy area in Nanshan, the Shenzhen Bay. I've been here, obviously, many a time. And what they've got is they've got these very expensive luxury apartments. They're fairly new. And they've been set up along the Shenzhen Bay there, and they built a new Mixi Mall. You know, Wanxiangcheng? Do you remember I used to live opposite Mixi
That's
Mall?
right.
Uh,
I lived opposite the original Mixi Mall in Luohu. And now they've built a new one out there in Nanshan for the rich people. Luxury apartments, right? So I'd like you to pay attention to this luxury building over here. This one over here, yeah, see quite closely.
Whoa!
That was another gas explosion. Look at that.
Right in the middle of the building, eh?
It tore up, as you can see.
Oh, man. So that's just probably one kerosene tank.
I mean, it was pretty hectic.
That's what I'm saying, is how much pressure is in one of those things.
Well, you
We
know,
all have
in these
those.
buildings, quite normally the gas is fed from a pipe, not from one of those tanks.
Uh-huh.
It depends on where you live in China, but either you get your own tanks that get replaced
Yes,
as well.
right. That's
But
right.
in these fancy buildings, it's usually a pipe. So it would have
Gotcha.
been an infrastructure
That's
failure.
right. That's right.
Now, this destroyed that one apartment over there, you know, and it apparently affected about 4 or 5 floors up,
Oh, okay.
you know. It's, as you can see, pretty devastating. Unfortunately, and we're not going to show you the footage, but there is footage of a woman who was in that apartment, and in order to escape the fire, she had nowhere to go, and her only option was to fall out. So there was one fatality, you know, but that's just one reported. But take a look.
Reported,
I'd like to show you guys again.
Doesn't matter where you are, right?
Louis Vuitton. This is the fanciest part of Shenzhen now. It's moved. Now this is the fanciest, most expensive area. So get it done.
天呐，我天，如果楼上的话，好像越来往那边火越来越大。原先不应该关的楼。那个人我不去。
Chanel, Dior, Tiffany and Company. Okay, I just wanted to explain. The fanciest, most expensive, and by the way, Shenzhen is a first-tier city. So if you think Shanghai, Beijing, it's the same. It's on the same level. So the most expensive, most fancy, sophisticated part of China still has these infrastructure, you know, hazards like this, gas explosions. I mean, you could expect it in the previous clip we saw where the restaurant blew up because it's just some middle of nowhere city, right?
Yeah.
But not this. This is top of the pops, and it still blows up. So imagine you are a very rich person driving a Ferrari or whatever you are, and you have this really expensive apartment. You still can't escape this horrible safety, failure of
You
China.
are true.
Yeah. Anyway, you know that this happened in my apartment block where I lived as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And it was because it was near the electronics district, Huajiangbei, you know, the Silicon Valley of China. And there was a person storing...
It's expensive for
I
me.
know, exactly. And they were storing chemicals and various things they were using for, like, stripping down mobile phones and stuff in the apartment. It also exploded, and it took 5 floors with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember,
like a bomb.
yeah, when I was driving home, I saw the smoke coming out of my apartment complex.
Yeah.
Not my building; it was a building over. But I saw the smoke and all this fire. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Yeah, it's where I lived, so I've got personal experience seeing this happen.
Yeah, this does happen.
Yeah. By the way, and that was December the 11th. The other one was December 12th. So just a day apart, you've had these 2 big gas explosions on completely different sides of the country.
That's right.
Now, we're going to get into the drone attack.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what happened in Jingzhou in Hubei.
So I didn't think
yesterday.
I thought it was a huge deal, but I didn't know what a big deal it was until I saw all the posts getting pulled.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we found this military website that still had some stuff up about it. But originally, before all that happened, before that military website had any info, this was going around the Chinese internet before it was getting pluck, pluck, pluck. And that's what made us pay attention to it. Like, why are they pulling all these videos?
Exactly. Now, this is a guy charging his EV. As you can see, all EVs these days have cameras built into it.
You mean spy cars?
Yeah, I mean, it does get a little worrying when you find out that China has been testing all of its EVs on roads in America. I think they map millions of kilometers in California or something, right? Stupid amount like that. But yeah, they've got cameras, and this guy's busy topping up his EV, which will take him like 2 hours or something. And I'd like you to pay attention to the very top one. Yeah, take a look. Bam. Don't know if you saw. Don't worry, I did zoom it in. He's like, whoa, runs off. And then he's like, what'll I do?
They're getting threatened in the chat.
Oh, yeah. So he's like,
documenting you. So keep it up, guys.
So he unplugs his EV. He's going to go plug it back in there or whatever. And then he's like, whoa, what am I going to do? I should probably get out of here. And then I think he just kind of panics or something. He's already unplugged his car. And he's like, okay, I'm going to open my door.
It's an interesting perspective.
And then he's like, okay, I'm out.
I'm out. He
Peace out.
Runs,
yeah, runs off. Okay, so here I slowed it down. You can see it up there. Can you see it? You can see it's got a very long wingspan.
Yeah.
And one of the wings looks like it came off.
Yeah.
Bam.
Wow, that really blew up, eh? Into the stadium.
Yeah.
That's during the Olympic Games stadium in Hubei, right? That's right.
Yeah, it's an Olympic stadium. Since one other car was smart and got the hell out of there real quick. Let's see. Here we can see it again in super slow-mo. There it comes in. Smack. And you can clearly see that it is a Chinese drone. A military drone.
Yeah, I think was it the Ukraine military that identified it?
Yeah. This is right after the explosion. Oh, get us out of here.
Yeah, the source is in the description, by the way.
Oh, look, bollards.
Oh, there's bollards. High quality bollards.
I'm going to pause it there for a second. You can see the landing gear over there.
I think this is probably how they identified it.
Well, it's part of how they identified it. This is obviously after it's all calmed down. Got some emergency services there, a lot of looky-loos. So they're just saying plane, like a plane has crashed.
Nobody knows it's a word in Fiji at that point. Probably.
Yeah,
without person plane.
Yeah, exactly. Unmanned aircraft. Yeah. Okay, where are the pictures? Did you take them out?
No.
Interesting. Let me.
I didn't take them out. That was your segment, Brad.
No, it's definitely they're in there. Oh, well, either. Anyway, the fact is we do have pictures of the drone.
Yeah.
You have them? You can just chuck them on the desktop and I'll show them. Oh, hang on.
I don't have them.
Oh, it's fine. Obviously, something got mixed up in the.
Gotcha.
Huh?
Oh, it's just like one of the news articles ended up there, obviously.
Okay, there's a picture of what the drone looks like. You can compare.
The Yilong 2H.
Yeah, that's right. It's the Yilong 2H drone.
I think they mean loon.
Yeah, it's a loon. Now, apparently, this is part of the debris. Of course, we can't 100% confirm, but this is this is according to an article that we found, which is in the description, by the way. You can go and read it and make up your own mind.
But this was pulled like lightning off the Chinese internet.
Yeah.
When people started sharing the videos, there was such a rapid response to pulling it that it clearly is a big deal to China. I don't know if they don't want people to know what kind of drones they're testing or something. It's obviously some sort of secret.
Now, the thing is, these drones are military drones. They can be used for civilian use. Like, for instance, in a disaster, they can be used to
Well, I think what you meant was they can create a civilian disaster.
They can.
Like they just
they
did,
can.
yeah.
They can be used to facilitate communications and whatever, survey things and all that. But of course, it's a military drone, which is quite clearly a knockoff of American drones. You can
Looks like
tell. Yeah, they did. They stole the design.
Oh, okay.
100% stole.
Gotcha.
But if we go back to the actual crash footage right here, you can see. Wait for
There's like one frame where you can kind of see it, yeah, like clearly, semi-clearly. Yeah, those wings are super long.
You can tell. Look, it's got the split tail as well. It's kind of upside down now. It's the profile of it doesn't look like any kind of like a light aircraft or anything like that. The wingspan's too long. It's got that split tail.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's definitely one of those drones. So a Chinese military drone, whether it was intentional or not, pretty sure it wasn't intentional, but a Chinese military drone has crashed into one of their stadiums.
Yeah, there's a lot of some of the discussion around is like, why did they attack the attack?
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's hard to say, but it's a drone attack.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what it looks like normally.
That's pretty wild. And it was interesting around all this hubbub about all this drone stuff that's been happening in the U.S. It's interesting that something actually did physically materialize in China around this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Surrounding that. Anyway, the source is down below. Check it out for yourself.
Now, there's an interesting thing here because in the footage, you can tell as it's plummeting towards the stadium that it is missing a wing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is the missing wing.
Ah, the missing wing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sorry, I don't want to harp on too much about this, guys, but if we go back and you look at the actual plane falling down, take a look. Let's get it in its slow-mo form over here. Can you see?
Yeah.
It's missing a wing.
Yeah.
It's got one very long wing on one side and there's one wing missing.
Yeah.
See that? It's a one-winged drone.
Yeah. Probably not going to fly very well like that.
Well, of course, that's why it crashed. But that would explain that picture we have of the missing wing. There.
Yep.
There we are. So, drone attack on China by a Chinese military drone.
Yep.
Intentional or not. Cell phone for sure. Own goal, as we'd say.
Yeah.
All right. Now it's time for us to move on to the Bait and Rob initiative update.
Oh, is this where we talk about how the Belt and Road initiative is failing?
Well, no, we're just talking about the quality of the construction that you can expect.
Okay. All right, the quality needs stuff. You'll follow me, okay?
Yes.
Whoa, that's quite the title that you have.
Yes. So a tunnel is being built over here. Okay, we got a nice fresh tunnel.
I do want to remind everyone this is what you're buying when you let China do your infrastructure projects.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see what happens with this lovely tunnel.
All right, we're done with this top part here.
Oh.
By the way, it's not supposed to be an aqueduct.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know, it's not supposed to be an aqueduct. It's supposed to be a tunnel, like an actual road. Just add a little bit of concrete to the environment.
River done it, you do solid like a concrete.
Hey, maybe that's how they make their road. It'll like solidify and be a road. Yeah. There's something about this scene that's just so China, isn't it?
Yes.
Kind of gray sky, construction junk everywhere. It's very
just a blue color.
It's very nostalgic.
It is quite nostalgic.
Yeah.
Need some of that techno in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we've got a question, okay, and hoping that somebody in our audience will be able to answer this. As you can see, they're busy demolishing this support pillar, okay, for this bridge. I would like to know, is it normal for it to be just filled with loose sand?
Should I do a poll?
Yeah, please do. Maybe somebody in our audience can say, because I don't want to... I'm not a structural engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, but in my mind, this should be solid concrete. Sure. You know, obviously reinforced concrete. It needs to have aggregate in there. It needs to have rebar.
This is
it has to have that kind of thing. But this is pretty much hollow and just full of like loose sand. And so I'd like to ask everybody, if anyone knows, is this normal? I'll go back to that. So I'd like to know, do we have an answer in the poll yet?
You gotta make it.
Oh, you haven't made it yet? Is this normal?
Maybe there's a way to modify.
We have to do something here.
I knew you would like my wares.
This is what happens when you get under attack by a million people. You don't want to hear
I mean, there is a way to limit at least item count.
Can't tell me.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We're back.
This normal.
Is this normal? Okay, I'm sure people have said in the chat.
Yeah, I just wanted to do the poll.
Yeah, so we're going to let that poll up for a little while. We're going to continue on with the show and we'll read it out later.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're a structural engineer, if you're anyone who knows anything about bridge supports, is it normal for a bridge support to be filled with loose sand? Like this one is. Because look, it's like, you know, they're opening it up and just gushing out.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, every week we've been trying to explain to everyone just how bad the economy in China is right now. And one of the things you can tell is by the amount of wage disputes.
Yeah.
Every week we've been showing you at least one wage dispute. Now I had a whole lot, but I don't want to bore everyone with every single one. In this particular one, the workers again haven't been paid their wages for months, and so they decided they'd go to the company and actually just bring blankets and sit in the lobby and wait to get paid. Yeah. It just shows you how desperate it's become, where construction workers have to have a sit-in or a lie-in just to try and get money that's owed to them.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things. Well, sorry, before we get into that, it's not one of those things where, you know, when people strike, it's usually they want like better wages or they want like better rights or union protection or whatever it is. So
Maybe there's a way
China, the
to
only time you go on strike is when you actually have a huge amount of money already.
put a number in divided by the cost of
slaving
the
away for
item.
months, hard construction, hard labor, working weekends, working 6-7 days a week, working really hard, and eventually you just reach breaking point.
That's
You're
right.
like, listen, I'm owed 6 months of wages. Can I get my money, please? And that shows you just how bad the economy is doing. It has to be, you know? Anyway, we have one more thing we have to show you here before we continue. Let's do it.
Turn it up.
Turn it up. Here it comes. Here it is. The Royal Rumble is coming.
The annual The China Show's Royal Rumble is this year's main event.
Characters from the China Show come out one by one and they bring their beef.
The first year, Jaunty had a great performance.
Great.
But he wasn't so lucky the following year.
Tractor bulldozed Ballsack for a stunning victory in year 2.
Winston, Jaunty's been looking for his second victory. But he's really, for lack of better words, pissed at the Haze Runner because he, in fact, is the fastest man in the world.
I'm the fastest man in the world. Nobody can stop me.
Not that wheezing maniac.
Also, don't forget, the new kid on the block, or should I say new brick in the wall, Mason, who's really angry with his neighbor Salte Waters, who plays his music too loud.
What a wonderful song. How come I've never heard it before?
It's been a little too much for Rick.
Wow, that's a little too much for me.
Who's been replaced by Raging Roger. This is the feud of the year.
Join us at the Xiaoban Ho live tier to watch this year's main event, this year's Royal Rumble, as it happens with live commentary from C-Milk and Winston. You will be there and you will enjoy it. You will follow us, okay?
You'll follow me, okay?
Or you can support us at any other tier level to see it after it airs live.
Don't forget, you can gift patron memberships and bring the joy of the Royal Rumble to your family this season.
We'll see you in the ring on December 23rd at 5 p.m. EST. Be there or the frog gets peed on.
Excellent. I cannot wait.
It's going to be amazing.
Right, back to the serious stuff. Okay, worldview, guys. Oh, yeah, by the way, please join us for the Royal Rumble. It's going to be the best thing ever. You can head over to patreon.com/ADV podcasts. Join any tier, you'll get access.
I just typed in...
Yeah. All right, worldview, guys. This is where we talk to you about everything that's happening in the world, specifically with regards to China. We've got something that's kind of important. Obviously, we covered the...
Yeah, I just wanted to show the source.
Okay, this is the... What you wanted to show. What is the source?
My source is that I made it the up.
No, this is a real. This is a real source. Okay, no, quite seriously. Here we go. The link
Yeah,
is
you
in the
type in
description if you'd
G,
like to go take a look. Now, something has been happening.
By the way, 80% of people said it's not normal to fill up bridge supports with sand.
I would have thought so. It's common sense, right? Yeah. It's common sense. But remember, and I'm looking at you, Montenegro, or any of these places out there, if you're going to get China to come and build your Belt and Road highways and bridges and stuff, expect that quality. Yeah. They've been falling
You
apart.
get what you pay for.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Well, you get what you get into debt for.
Yes, I thought this was a great write-up. We covered this before, but why did China hack the world's phone networks? They actually go into why they're doing this, why that Salt Typhoon hack happened, and why we talked about this, why you guys should be more outraged. that China just attacked and hacked all of like the major cell phone and telecom networks.
It was
in
like
America.
Verizon, AT&T, all these
big ones.
The one you use.
To get there, who you call, who you know, when you call, what you're texting, all that stuff was just given over to Chinese hackers. And for some reason, people are not up in arms right now.
No, it's ridiculous.
Take it seriously.
Take it very seriously.
Take it very seriously.
China's out to steal your lunch. China's out to bring your country down.
Yes. Just a great write-up. So that's
okay.
the description as well.
Something super important, guys. Please, whoever you are out there, pay attention. China is now doing something, well, they've been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, it's getting more overt, though.
They have been co-opting the far left and the far right equally. This is not like, it doesn't matter what side you lean.
No.
You can't,
they promote chaos.
Yeah, you can't be pointing a finger at the left wing or at the right wing at this point. You have to be pointing a finger at China.
Yes.
Russia too, but China specifically. Take a look at the kind of garbage propaganda they're putting out there. Can you read this?
Says, I believe in promoting friendship with China. Its morally upright leadership will lead us into a hopeful and just multipolar world.
A hopeful just,
yes,
as in justice, you know?
Yeah. This is something we've been seeing, and this is, China's been seeing this succeed, or sorry, Russia succeed with this.
Yes.
So Russia has co-opted some of the more fringe right-wing organizations or media groups.
Left-wing too, dude.
Yeah, but no, I said Russia.
Yeah.
I said Russia.
Yeah.
So they see that this works, right? So China originally, we saw them really kind of entering the whole like socialist, communist kind of left-wing scene early on, right?
Yes.
But what China knows is that they just want to sow division and chaos, right? So they're going to do the same thing that Russia did with the right wing, and they've been doing this actually. We called this a couple years ago. We said this is going to start happening.
Yes.
And so right now they're trying to promote to right-wing people that China is morally just and is actually pro-life and is actually like not this degenerate society like the West. And they're doing all of those key points that people really care about because they say, oh, well, China's the alternative, which is insane.
Yeah.
Right. That's absolutely insane.
We had to just break this down because this is these are the talking points you're going to start seeing come out on all right wing. I mean left wing as well. We've talked about that in the past.
But this is what
right
targets the right.
Yeah, this is how they're targeting conservatives and the right wing. So if you're a conservative or right wing, I'm more conservative leaning
I have
myself.
all the time in the aisles.
Okay, and I believe in the family values and I believe in that type of thing. So it really pisses me off when I see people pretending that this is what China believes in because it's not true.
Well, these are psyops.
Okay, so take a look at these reasons. Reason number one: China is pro-family. Can we just for 1 minute talk about the demographic collapse in China right now?
There are no people to take care of the elderly because nobody is having children.
Yes.
They had the one-child policy, which eradicated all the unborn pregnancies, like not the unwanted, like people wanted.
Yeah. Forced abortions.
And then now there is no family structure to take care of said family.
Yeah.
There's a demographic collapse in China, meaning there are no young
So
people.
now it should buy one.
This is going to devastate
I
the
will
entire
see
country.
you
How's that
again.
pro-family?
The whole system is not pro-family. People
It's
care about
anti-family.
family because the government won't look after you.
Yes, it's your only safety.
It's families. Honestly, your retirement plan in China, but it's a mess. Okay, well, let's take a look at some of these other reasons. Let's get on to number 2. By the way, thank you to whoever alerted me to this yesterday. Appreciate it very much.
This is like we're basically alerting you to a storm that you're probably going to see.
Reason number 2, they punish degenerates and pornographers and don't allow media subversion of sexuality.
See how this, I mean, I think this account is completely fake, but it's posing as a right-wing conservative account.
China has the most open prostitution industry in the world. And I mean, per capita, if you wanted to get numbers, probably the most prostitutes in the world. Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, if you live in China, you will very, very quickly find out how debaucherous it is. Karaoke's, infidelity in marriages.
What do you mean the bag is
Cheating
full?
is like out of control right
at the
now.
top. Horrific.
Wait, do I need to level this character
sexual,
to pick up this item?
Terrible things happening to people. And the fact that if you go for a business meeting to a karaoke, there's always prostitution involved. There's always brothels involved. There are entire cities that their entire economy is based on prostitution and brothels and underage children and everything. It's very bad. It's if you want to talk about degeneracy and pornography and prostitution and stuff, China's not a shining example is what I'm trying to say here.
Absolutely.
So this is a false statement.
Yes.
But of course, if you've never been to China and you don't understand, you would look at this kind of propaganda and think to yourself, yeah, you know what, maybe they, just because pornography is not legal. But we all know, I mean, you can just look on Douyin or anything, it's full of thirst traps and, soft-core crap anyway. There's a lot of degeneracy, trust me. All right, let's take a look at the next talking point they're trying to push. And this is just to warn you guys, knowledge is power, as they say.
Yep.
Reason number 3, unlike America's capitalist oligarchs, they don't impoverish their people.
Does that not sound like Russian propaganda, by the way?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
just reads like
I mean,
that.
when you say oligarch, that's just
yeah,
Russia. But okay, this is absolutely pathetic, all right? There are so many poor people in China, and they're held there. They're not allowed to get out of there, because if they did, it would go against the narrative. If they go out there and say, hey, we're poor, we need help, they get squashed.
China's so much poorer than America, it's not even funny.
But,
Hundreds of millions of people
live in
live
abject
on $500 a year. A year, not a month, a year. And by the way, that is China's threshold. Gotta say this to you guys. China thinks that you're no longer impoverished if you make, it's now with inflation, about $700 a year. So if you make $700 a year, that's a full year, you're not poor anymore.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And that's why people like this, this propagandist account over here can say, oh, they're not impoverished. They want to help them out. Like, oh, it's like, hey, guess what? We lifted all these people out of poverty.
True.
It's propaganda, guys. It's not true.
True.
So again, this is a complete falsification over here. And I think is it number 4 is my favorite. Let's take a look. Come on, where are you? Number 4, they are increasingly pro-life, beyond what any Christian populace could imagine or hope for here. No. Absolutely
One of the highest rates of abortion in the world.
No, the highest rate of abortion.
It's one.
Is it not the highest?
Rate is different than total.
Okay. Well, it's the highest total for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And one of the highest rates. And abortion is used like contraception in China.
Yes.
Okay. It's very easy to be done. There was forced abortion until very recently for anyone.
It's too graphic.
We can't get into it. If you want to see, there are photos of fields of aborted fetuses late stage as well. China is not pro-life. This is the biggest.
This is a country with death
This is the
bans,
biggest
bro.
load of rubbish. Pro-life means anti-abortion.
Yeah.
There's not one inkling, not one part of China, the Chinese government, Chinese society that is.
It's an enchanting bag.
There's not one.
Oh my god.
Any Chinese person, if they're anti-abortion, will be like, oh, why? That idea hasn't even been posited.
That's
to
not
them.
a debate.
It's not a debate. If China is pro-abortion, the entire government is pro-abortion. The entire populace is pro-abortion, and that's just because it's the way it is. And I'm just saying it straight. There is no pro-life movement in China, in mainland China. There never has been. This is nonsense.
Yes. Now, I just wanted to cap it off by saying I do think this account is fake, but don't if you're conservative, just like we talked when we talked to a couple years ago, we were talking to left-leaning people.
Yeah.
Don't let China play you for a fool.
Absolutely.
Just don't let China play. Doesn't matter where you side with here. Right now, China looks like it's latching onto the whole. We're going to jump on this whole moral bandwagon and get the conservative people to think that we're the.
That's it. So again, they are targeting conservatives right now with these kinds of headlines and these kinds of propagandist ideas, and it's bullshit. Okay, it's absolute bullshit. Not one of these statements is true. So please, if you see this kind of thing going around, either call it out or block the person or ignore it or know that it's a lie, because it is a lie. Just because you don't live there and haven't seen it, don't take the word of some stupid person who puts some picture and maybe a farcical article.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, we just had to get that out the way. Because we're here to quash propaganda on this show. We want you to know what the real China is all about, okay? And this is absolutely false.
Yes.
Demonstrably false in every aspect.
Yes.
All right, so it's time for us to move on to Yum. My favorite part of the show, other than Slapaganda. And this is our Q&A section where we answer your questions and you question our answers. So let's hit it. By the way, if you're not watching live, you're not watching on the weekend, we do take this segment out of the show. So we bid you adieu, stay awesome, and all of that if you're not sticking around. But if you are sticking around, it's time to loosen the tie and get right into it. So what do we got?
So we have Aya with some memberships. Thank you very much. That was super generous, Aya. Laddie,
Thank you, everybody who gifted memberships. And everybody who's just become a member, congratulations. Welcome to the team.
Anthony Saint says, libation fund and we need a Ferris wheel. Thank you very much.
I will give you a Ferris wheel.
We have FKPHJ who says, Dear Science, no. Probably something gross that we had shown. Blaze says, other than the obvious Gunter Chop and Powerbomb you guys deliver, Business Basics videos on the video on the Uyghurs in China, what's going on, got removed. If anyone could cover it as well, it's you guys. Interesting. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. We get hit a lot. China's got a huge amount of money and influence, and they push so much. They do a lot of SEO work. They do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff to try and take our videos down. And they've been fairly successful at getting us demonetized and shadow banned and so on. But you know what? It's not going to stop us.
Yeah, don't let him into the sausage factory too much here.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it doesn't stop us,
Yeah.
and it never will. In fact, it encourages us to continue. So please, China, continue.
Koala1203 says this Yumcha segment of the China Show is brought to you by the 2024 China Show Rumble. Now with more legends, more shills, and the battle of epic proportions. Coming to Patreon December 23rd. Get tickets now.
Oh yeah.
And yes,
Can't
you
wait.
should.
And by get tickets, he means join any tier of the Patreon.
Yeah. Or if the live one if you want to watch it live.
Yes.
QR says the threat not to cover the drone attack looks like the legs of one of those Barbra Streisand effects.
Oh yes, yeah, we do have a Streisand effect, but I think I took it off from here. I don't think it's around.
You hear me?
Oh, here it is.
Can you see?
Nice.
Yes.
Relevant.
Very relevant. Yeah.
All Sturm care. Some fun to the next beer hater hour. Yes, on Monday we will be drinking beer and talking about things we hate.
I can't wait.
Jabba is going to be outlandish.
It's going to be great.
Sorry, Team Long Big Sea Milk. Oh.
Yes.
Makes me irritate at the mission of Big Bang.
That always cheers me up for the weekend.
Cheers me down.
Okay.
Cheers me down. Dragonella says weekly Bollard update segment. Yes or no? Is the thing about that is it has to be when Bollards are appropriate to talk about.
But yeah, we have had weekly Bollard discussions, so I feel like it'll be weekly until it's not.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Haunter 1, thank you very much. Sherbert says, looks up, I have a secret file signed which Biden.
Yes.
We're living in the fear. Those are the old Generation 1 sound bites, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I have any of those here.
No, they've been. We go through cycles.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I've been watching a long time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's excellent.
Thundup says, you're awesome, guys. Thank you very much, Thundup.
Appreciate it.
Joe says, here's your Beijing pass to skip Long Pig in the future. Thank you very much. Now we have 2 Long Pigs.
What is it that you're going to skip exactly?
You can't do it if it's... No, you're going against his wishes.
What? No, he said skip one in the future.
Yeah, we just played it, though.
Oh, okay, fine.
He would like a gag speech.
Oh, he can have a gag speech then. Oh, man, I really want to... Okay.
Chitty, thank you very much. David, how would you rate Trump versus Biden's China policy? If the White House were to consult you guys on the China approach, what #1 advice would you give? Do any of you want to work for a think tank? We like to stay independent, #1. #2, we can't tell you what the difference in policy will be between the 2 presidents.
We don't know
one
yet.
of them hasn't fired off his campaign or his policy yet.
Here's the thing. If a policy comes up under the new administration that we're very much against, we'll let you know.
Absolutely.
Or that we're very for, we'll let you know. That's how we roll.
I'll say that for all the bad things that people say about Biden, the China policy stuff we've been pretty happy with.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll continue that momentum with the next
we'll see
as well.
Absolutely.
Chris says the Beijing... Oh, crap. Snap. The Beijing pass guy looks like... Stop.
What did he say?
Not appropriate.
Oh, he looks like Alfred Shilcock.
Yeah, well, that's his name now.
Yeah, it's Alfred Shilcock.
Elstrom Care, can I get a Ferris wheel?
Again, another one. Sure, why not? It's obviously popular. Yeah.
Mark, thank you very much. Mr. E. What? Mark says, a friend told me about you during lockdown. Now my family and friends can't stand me when I start talking about China. They know your business best.
Oh, that's great. Best. Yes, here it comes. Here it comes. Wait.
If you're new here, by the way, those are piss eggs,
yes.
which are boiled in human urine.
Yes, little boy virgin urine.
Yes.
And they collect it from the schools. They put the buckets outside
going into detail about it because it's so disgusting that many people are peeing in buckets.
Well, can you imagine? Like, it's just a big mix. It's like a cocktail of, it all depends. I guess little boys don't have kidney stones, so you don't need to worry about that. But you'd have dehydrated.
Is that your biggest concern?
Well, you'd have like depending on how much you drink, it'll be like dark and light all mixed together. You just okay, all right.
This
just
too
thinking,
disgusting.
does it look a bit more like sherry or?
Oh!
let's move on. All right. What if you reduced it? I guess they do kind of.
When you said sherry, for some reason that drew her when you said that song came in, and I was thinking of how to say piss in a bucket today.
Okay, yeah. Anyway,
glass today.
Yeah, exactly. Piss outside of glass.
Yeah. My apartment in Guangzhou had a gas heater, and a gas meter was leaking. And lucky for me, they came back to check because they told me it was leaking dangerously.
Yes, that's wow. Some of the setups, they're so like haphazard,
Yeah.
Especially for cooking, you got to be so careful.
Scranton Beat says Lewis Hamilton hit a Bollard in F1 last week.
Oh, good stuff. I haven't been keeping up with F1. I used to watch when Wayne Gardner was... Oh, no, he's motorcycle. Yeah, I used to support him when I was like 5 or 10 or something.
Nice. Cloth Swiss says, take the pills, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Jeff, take the pills, Jeff.
Jamie Dalton says, London has an enormous amount of phone thefts and rising. Many of them are now being tracked to China.
This is
Chinese
your
gang behind it all. Not necessarily.
Well, they buy
it's
it.
just that's who buys it. Right?
I've been to the markets where they disassemble them, and there's a massive market because what they do is if you bring like
I will see
iPhone
you
that's
again.
broken or something, they'll take the motherboard out of this, the RAM out of that, or this. You know, they take the parts and they mix and match them, and they can fix your iPhone for you right there.
That's right.
They disassemble them, they wipe them, factory clean them, and then resell them. That type of thing.
That's right.
In Shenzhen.
Amos Moses says, would you rather live in China now or in the 1980s? Probably the 80s.
Yeah.
Things were starting to like become freer.
Oh yeah, definitely in the 80s. It was the opening up of China. There was so much opportunity.
Adam Kahn says, just wanted a Big Bay. Happy Friday.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Makes me irritate at the mission of Big Bang.
Peter says, will Mr. Rajkumar feature in the Royal Rumble? He has the moves and he has a good nim.
Yeah, he
I
does.
have no idea because we don't make it.
Hopefully
we
he makes
watch it live with you guys. We don't watch it ahead of time.
No, and that's the rule. We've never watched it ahead of time.
Can the face slappy guy from C-Milk's video be a new soundbite?
Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea.
He's wrong about Syria.
Yeah, that's
if you want to know what's China's relationship to Syria and why they just lost big time because of Syria falling, go check out my new video.
Syria's falling. That's sad today. I don't know. It's a sad day
for China
because Assad, you know, a sad
day. Oh, got it. China's very sad.
Yes.
You'll want to check that out.
Yeah, well,
if you want to watch a Chinese propagandist in China for Syria,
do you believe it's working?
Get it wrong that Assad wasn't going to fall and then slap himself.
Now all we can do is wait.
Qual1203 says, "Can I get a dandong followed by a dump bear?"
Well,
suppose tomorrow I'll continue PvEing. It's kind of just ate up like half the day.
Done.
Or maybe two-thirds of the day.
Strike Brother during the girl announcing each round.
Not really a lot of time to actually play.
That would be.
I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, Strike Brother like ogling the announcer would be incredible.
I don't think there's an announcer in there.
Oh, if there was, and
Well, I
you
mean,
had
he
Strike
should
Brother
just
do
be
it-
part of it because there are women that are, there's like, Dear Wong is in there.
That's true.
We've got Tractor, Sarah AI. There are tons of girls in there.
That's true. He could be ogling.
You know, they've got Sina is in there. I'm pretty sure. You know, this like
Like,
this one.
we don't know. We actually don't know.
Well, I'm just speaking from past experience. You know, so Stripe
Yes.
Brother would want to get in on the action.
He would. David says, reminder: America treats children of undocumented immigrants better than China treats its own people with a low-tier city code. Absolutely correct. David Pay says, have you seen the lines at the planned family centers in China for abortion? Yes. They're huge. Robert Sanquist.
It's also look, it's very disturbing, but
yeah, I don't want to get into it.
From my experience anyway, the women that I met, the majority of them have had abortions. You know, just I'm talking colleagues and just I'm not even talking about women that I dated. I'm just saying in general, they all have abortions. I'm just talking about
to claim otherwise.
To pretend like China is pro-life is the biggest lie.
It's insane.
It's worse. It's like it's the lie.
Well, it's like when Russia was trying to do that with the right wing too, saying that Russia was pro-life, which is outlandish.
Yes,
right.
it is. But I mean, like, if there was a liar that lied about a lie, that lied on top of that lie, it wouldn't even come close to that lie.
That's even crazier than the Russia one. That's nuts.
Yeah,
China
it's like to
being
pretend that
pro-life.
China's pro-life is the stupidest fallacy.
plan.
I don't even. Yeah, it's like, I mean, what is wrong with that person? That person needs a brain transplant.
Yes. Paytor. Rafa Harley says, have a great weekend,
Epic
guys. Just
insult.
wondering what Chinese Ox has to say about this so-called Rumble.
Well, he's going to be in it.
Yeah, well, I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
Elstrom Care. Winston, soundbite of kicking the nuts yet?
Which one? Which one?
I'm so impressed that
you mean
like there's so much functionality here. Like the fact that I was able to just really quickly define I would like to only purchase a certain gold value amount, you know. So like I only want to buy I only want to keep 100 gold in my inventory, you know. The fact that I was able to do that is so wild that I was able to do that quickly. This platform is so good to build on, or at least to implement quite a lot of things. Compared to like EVE Online, like it's so weird. Like this, it took me literally one day of googling and looking at videos and doing stuff to essentially have like a trading system up and going. And it's already more automated than what I do in EVE. Because it like here it like configures the prices for you, and you just gotta hit post. You just gotta do a single click. In Eve, I gotta do like 10 clicks per order. I gotta type in the number myself and everything. But then the thing is, in this game, even though it's so ridiculously easy, there must not be a lot of people doing it, because there's also an insane number of opportunities. It's crazy. So, the market is just way more efficient than Eve. So, yeah. Wild. Unreal. It's like, I mean, of course, I mean, in WoW, like, a lot of stuff can't be bought with money. You need to kind of, like, earn it yourself or whatever. You need to kind of, like, get it as a drop, right? Like, it does make sense, right? You don't lose your gear when you die in this game, right? But here's the thing. There are people who play these games to make real money by selling the game currency on the black market, so it's just so weird. It's just so weird that those people aren't, you know, playing in the market to make that money. But yeah, I think I'm not really gonna play anything now, I think. Oh my god, and it like auto updates right away. Oh my god. Wild. And before we lose money though. Yeah, I'm just gonna be doing more of this. You've already seen the procedure, in case anybody's watching this and you want to replicate what I'm doing. I'm happy to kind of give it away. Like, I don't really care. I don't need to keep the thing a secret or whatever. I'm just using this article, PvP items for unrated battlegrounds. I go through it and I check on this site that price is roughly similar. You know, like average price here is roughly similar to average price. Average price in the first half is roughly similar to average price in the second half, okay? Yeah, so then you can do mean reversion trading. As long as it's not dropping rapidly in price, it's fine. That's the one thing that the in-game strategy can't account for. Because all it does is look at the price now and compare to like average of last 60 days. And it wants to sell 25% higher than you buy at, so you know, that's all it does. So if it's an item that's dropping in price rapidly, it's gonna think that it's like a bargain. It's gonna go like, oh, price is down now compared to 60 days ago, so you buy it, right? And then you buy it and it just keeps dropping, and you never sell it because you know, never goes up 25%. So yeah. Either way, that's just kind of how it goes. Either way, so the procedure is you go down this list, you try all the items, and then you make sure that they have 2 years of data at least, and that they aren't dropping rapidly in price. So typically that means consumables that are Dragonflight or older, and that haven't been trumped by a newer item. So you need to do this every expansion because new items are going to replace older items sometimes. Yeah, that's the procedure. And then as for the exact script in-game, I mean, find me on Discord, I guess. Click below the stream. Find me on Discord if you wanna be sent it, I guess. I'm gonna go to... Not gonna go to bed right now, I'm just gonna sit and chill, but I'm just gonna sit here and watch my script make money. I just want to know if it works or not. I just want to see it work. What I want more than anything.